What if I told you that you are not just one, but trillions of living beings? That inside your body there are tiny worlds that are constantly changing, growing, and communicating. That these worlds are made of different kinds of cells, each with their own structure, function, and role. That some of these cells can even create new cells, while others can destroy them. That some of these cells can hold the secrets of your past, present, and future. Welcome to the fascinating world of cell biology, where we will explore the mysteries and marvels of the smallest units of life. Join us as we discover how cells work, how they interact, and how they shape our lives. The branch of biology which we are studying is called cell biology or cytology. The word cytology there is coming from a Greek word kaitos, which means vessel. So generally, to keep biological studies simple, the easiest thing is to just remember that you should be able to relate how a structure, which we normally refer to as anatomy, is related to its function, which we say physiology. So the way in which structures are suited for their functions, we call them adaptations. So to make your biological studies simple, just remember that structures are or have a certain function in which they are made for. Okay. So what is a cell? What is a cell? So we can think of a cell as a small compartment which holds all the biological equipment necessary to keep an organism alive. Take, for example, your wardrobes, your cupboards, in which you keep your stuff at your homes. A more technical definition would be that a cell is the smallest functional unit of all living organisms, capable of carrying out the various life processes. By various life processes, we mean it's able to perform processes like movement, respiration, etc. We can find this in our other video where we talk about characterization of life. So by implication, this means that all living organisms are made up of cells as their basic building blocks. There are many different types of cells, but in this presentation we're going to look at animal cells. So animal cells are part of a group of organisms called eukaryotes. The word eukaryote there meaning that they have a true nucleus. Eukaryote comes from two Greek words. The first one, eu, meaning good or true, the EU there, and the second word, karyon, kapov, meaning kernel or nut. And these ones are characterized by the presence of a nucleus. They are characterized by the presence of a number of membrane-bound organelles, also a number of chromosomes in which DNA is organized in the form of nucleoproteins. So what are these organelles which you are talking about? Organelles, by definition, the word means tiny organ. So literally they are tiny organs within the cell. These organelles are membrane-bound structures inside cells with specific functions. When a structure inside a living organism has got a specialized function, we say that it is specialized. It is a specialized structure because the structure has got a particular function in which it is functioning in. All right. So firstly, we're going to look at the cell membrane. This is a double or a bilipid. We say it's a bilipid layer surrounding the cell. It is responsible for regulating what goes in and what goes out of the cell. So it is an envelope encompassing the cell, protecting the cytoplasm and all the other cell contents, keeping them intact inside the cell, whilst selectively allowing some stuff to go in or to go out. So the cell membrane, like we said, consists of a lipid bilayer, which is semi-permeable. Semi-permeable may also be referred to as selectively permeable, or allows or permits some stuff to come in whilst restricting some stuff to go or to come in. The cell membrane regulates transport of materials entering and exiting the cell. It is also important for cell communication when cells need to communicate, because the cell membrane itself, it is embedded with a lot of proteins, some only on the top side, some on the inner side, some running through the span of the double lipid bilayer, meaning that these proteins have got different functions in which they are serving for the full functioning of the cell membrane in order to benefit the cell. So next we need to look at the nucleus. The nucleus contains most of the cell's genetic material. It can be thought of as the control center of the cell. This is because it contains most of the cell's genetic material, which is mostly DNA and ribosomal RNA, the other mRNA, and tRNA is found in the cytoplasm. So ribosomal RNA is found inside the nucleus, and mostly DNA. So the majority of the nucleus is filled with chromatin, and this chromatin comes in two types, with euchromatin and heterochromatin. The euchromatin form is less dense, whilst the heterochromatin form is highly dense. So the roles of this chromatin are for DNA replication, transcription, DNA repair, genetic recombination, cell division, gene regulation, gene expression, etc., etc., etc. Next, we're going to move to endoplasmic reticulum, or ER. It is a system of organelles which forms a network of membranes. These ones are important for many cellular processes such as protein production. You'll notice that sometimes the endoplasmic reticulum can have some tiny looking dots which will be ribosomes attached on the surface of the endoplasmic reticulum. When endoplasmic reticulum has got these ribosomes attached, it is called rough ER. It is not because it's rough, but on the microscope through which we are looking at, it appears to be rough, or it appears like it's not smooth, and hence we say that it is rough ER. The other type of endoplasmic reticulum which does not have ribosomes is called smooth ER. The main functions of this endoplasmic reticulum include protein production, protein modification, transport of proteins. So it forms like a transport system inside the cell. Let's move on to talk about the mitochondria. These ones are one of the most important of all the organelles, because they produce energy, which is the currency, which is universal within all living organisms. Sometimes they're also called the powerhouses of the cell, because they produce energy. The energy is in a form or currency called ATP, which stands for adenosine triphosphate. This is a high energy compound which, when hydrolyzed or broken down in solution, produces a lot of energy. This ATP is the energy by which many processes are carried out inside living organisms. Okay, if you want to learn more about ATP, you can find one of our videos in which we talk about the function of this ATP. Next, we look at lysosomes. Lysosomes are like stomachs of the cell. Their main role is to break down waste materials and cellular debris. Lysosomes contain mainly digestive enzymes like proteases to break down proteins, lipases to break down lipids, carbohydrates to break down carbohydrates. For example, an example of a carbohydrate will be amylase, which is used to break down amylose in starch, or another one, maltase, which is used to break down maltose. So a group of lysosomes which come together, they are called a polysome. Sometimes polysomes are formed so as to deal with a large number or a large volume of materials to be digested, or sometimes there's a substance which is a complex of different types of molecules, and it may need different lysosomes coming together so that they effect a good breakdown of whatever substances are making the thing there. Move on to talk about Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus are another set of membranes also spanning the cell. They serve the important function of sorting, modifying proteins and lipids, and transporting substances out of the cell. So at one end, Golgi apparatus are continuously being formed as cisterna and then budding off as vesicles on the other end. So you notice that Golgi apparatus are quite important for the full functioning of the cell because they have this kind of function. The next organelle which we are looking at are the centrioles. These ones are hollow tubes which give organelles their shapes. The main function is to help chromosomes move inside the cell. They play a role in organizing microtubules which serve as the cell's skeletal system. They help determine the locations of the nucleus and other organelles within the cell. And during cell division, they produce fibers called microtubules which help in splitting the cell apart. The major important thing to note about centrioles is that they are only present in animal cells and they are not found in plant cells. Another common organelle which we find are called vacuoles. A key thing to note is that in animal cells, vacuoles are temporary and smaller, usually containing hydrolytic enzymes to help in programmed cell death, which is called apoptosis, or they help to deliver enzymes or substances to their destination, in which case they are called vesicles. So vacuoles in animal cells, they are temporary. They help to deliver substances where they are needed, and after their function is completed, they may be broken down or discarded. Once they've completed their task, then they can be destroyed and the debris can just be cleaned up by other digestive enzymes. This marks the end of our presentation. We thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this presentation and learned something, please let us know in the comments below. If you've got more topics you feel you need to have explained, feel free to let us know. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to our channel for more informative content. See you in the next video.